Next, we'd like to talk about service on a 21-inch mower. We've discussed that you refer back to your owner's manual always. Generally, the first thing that you want to check, as we've discussed, is the engine oil daily. Now, how often should we change the engine oil? Generally, on a 21-inch mower, we'd like to see you change the oil around 25 running hours. I would look to the owner's manual and figure out whether you need to run 10W30, 30 weight, or whatever engine oil that is required. A lot of engines that are now being produced for 21-inch mowers, they also have an oil filter. They usually recommend that you change the oil filter every 50 hours. What are some other things that need to be maintained? Obviously, the air filter. This air filter is no tools needed. You can remove it. Some filters have a foam pre-wrap. How do you clean that? Simply remove it, wash it with soap and water, let it dry. This paper filter, you should simply tap it out. We do not recommend an air hose. Then reinstall the foam filters. A lot of older models, they recommend that you put a small layer of lubricant over this foam. So check with your engine and the year model that you have, because that has changed several times over the years. This simply pops back on, and we have now serviced the air filter. The next thing I'd like to talk to you about is sharpening the blade. For a lot of landscape contractors and consumers, blade sharpening is very important. Now, if you're a homeowner and your yard is perfectly lush, you can probably only need to sharpen the blade about once a year. If you're a landscape contractor, it's directly related to the property. Now, we recommend first when doing that, safety glasses, you'll have a bench grinder, and generally you want to sharpen 1 or 2 passes on this side, 1 or 2 passes on this side, and have some form of blade balancer so you know that the blade is in balance. If the blade is out of balance, you will pick up a tremendous amount of vibration in the handles of the lawnmower, and that vibration will also give you fatigue. The last 2 things I want to cover on a commercial 21-inch mower is most of them have some form of belt, and they generally have a cable. We discussed this cable earlier that comes down here that has a simple adjustment that can be done. I recommend that you refer back to your owner's manual how to properly adjust that. And finally, a lot of machines have grease fittings on them. Most of the machines have a grease fitting on the rear wheels if they're self-propelled, and one on the top of the transmission. Now that varies from manufacturer to manufacturer. And then the final stage is cleaning. I personally recommend that you blow it off when you're done and maybe wash it once a week. If you do wash it, I recommend that you crank it up, let it run for a couple of minutes so it disperses all the water, and then store it away properly.